Title: Ace of Spades. Setting: it's 1864, a year after the Band of Five pulled off their audacious heist. Abigail Ace Monroe, the infamous gambler gunslinger, has spent her days since the gold robbery laying low, avoiding the fallout from the job. But now her dark past has caught up with her, forcing her back to a town she never thought she'd see again. A man she once trusted, a man who betrayed her, is waiting. And this time, they will settle the score. Scene 1: A game of cards. The evening sun casts a warm glow over the small frontier town of Hollow Creek, but inside the Lucky Hand Saloon, the air is thick with tension. Abigail Ace Monroe sits at a poker table, her dark red duster draped over the back of her chair, her fingers idly flipping a silver coin through the air. Her sharp eyes scan the table, calculating every movement, every glance, every bead of sweat. She knows the game isn't about the cards, it's about reading people. The man across from her, the local sheriff no less, watches her nervously, unsure if his losing streak is just bad luck or if he's being outplayed by one of the West's most notorious gamblers. Abigail smirks as she reveals her hand. "Full house," she says, her voice smooth as silk. The sheriff's face falls, and the rest of the table murmurs. Another round of drinks arrives, but Abigail isn't focused on the game anymore. Her mind is elsewhere, on why she came back to this godforsaken town. Hollow Creek holds memories she'd rather leave buried, but those memories have a way of resurfacing when you least expect them. As she collects her winnings, the doors to the saloon swing open and a chill runs down her spine. A man steps inside, dressed in black with a scar running down his cheek. His name is Jasper Kane, and years ago he was the one who left Abigail for dead. Scene 2: Shadows of the Past. Abigail locks eyes with Jasper, her smirk vanishing in an instant. The saloon goes quiet as the tension between them thickens, like the calm before a storm. She pushes her chair back, slowly rising to her feet. "You've got some nerve showing your face here, Kane," Abigail says, her voice low but deadly. Jasper chuckles darkly, walking toward her. "Could say the same about you, Ace. Didn't think you'd crawl back to Hollow Creek after what happened." What happened refers to a botched job years ago, long before the Band of Five. Abigail and Jasper were partners, back when she still believed in trust. They had planned to rob a high-stakes poker game, but Jasper had other ideas. He double-crossed her, took the money, and left her bleeding in the dirt. She survived, but that betrayal shaped the woman she became, a hardened, cold killer who trusted no one. "Just here for unfinished business," Abigail says, her hand hovering near her revolver. "You know why." Jasper's smile fades, replaced by a hard glare. "You think you can waltz in here and settle the score, just like that? This town's mine now." Abigail flicks the coin into the air and catches it with practiced ease. "Then I guess it's time for a change in management." Scene 3: The Dead Man's Hand. Later that night, Abigail sits alone in her room at the Lucky Hand, her mind racing. She knew this confrontation was inevitable the moment she set foot back in Hollow Creek, but facing Jasper again had stirred something deeper, something more dangerous. She pulls an old worn playing card from her pocket, the Ace of Spades, and studies it. It's her calling card, left at the scene of every duel she's won. But this time, the stakes feel higher. A knock at the door breaks her reverie. It's a young woman, an old acquaintance from the town, who slips inside quietly. Her name is Clara, and though their paths haven't crossed in years, she remembers Abigail from the old days. "You shouldn't have come back," Clara says urgently. "Jasper runs this town now, and he's got half the men here in his pocket. He's been waiting for you." Abigail leans back in her chair, flipping the Ace of Spades between her fingers. "I didn't come here to run, Clara. I came here to end this." Clara looks torn. "He won't play fair, Abigail. You know that." Abigail's eyes harden. "Neither will I." Scene 4: High Noon. The following day, Hollow Creek is buzzing with anticipation. Word has spread fast. Abigail Monroe and Jasper Kane are set to face off. The showdown is inevitable. The streets clear out as the townsfolk retreat to the shadows, watching from windows and doorways. Abigail steps out into the dusty street, her duster billowing in the wind, her revolver gleaming at her side. Jasper waits for her at the far end, his hand resting on the hilt of his own gun. The two face each other, a lifetime of bad blood and betrayal between them. "You really think you can walk out of here alive, Ace?" Jasper sneers. Abigail flips the Ace of Spades into the air, watching it flutter down to the dirt between them. Only one of us will. For a moment, the world holds its breath. Then, in the blink of an eye, both of them draw. The sound of gunfire echoes through the streets. But Abigail is faster. She always has been. Her bullet hits its mark and Jasper staggers back, clutching his chest as blood seeps through his fingers. He falls to the ground, gasping for breath, his eyes wide with disbelief. Abigail walks up to him, standing over his fallen body. "You should have finished the job when you had the chance," she says coldly, holstering her gun. Jasper coughs, his voice weak. "It was never about the money, Ace. It was about power." Abigail shakes her head, her voice low and steady. "No, it was about trust, and you broke it." With that, Jasper's breath rattles in his chest one last time, and he goes still. Scene 5. A clean break. The town is silent as Abigail turns to leave, the ace of spades still lying in the dirt beside Jasper's lifeless body. She mounts her horse, her gaze sweeping over the quiet streets of Hollow Creek. She knows she can't stay. Not here, not anywhere for long. The past has a way of catching up, and she's always one step ahead, but only just. Clara steps out of the shadows, watching as Abigail prepares to ride off. "Where will you go?" Abigail shrugs. "Wherever the cards take me." She tips her hat to Clara, then spurs her horse into a trot. As she rides out of town, the wind picks up, scattering the dust and carrying with it the whispers of those who will tell the tale of Abigail A. Ace Monroe, the woman who came back from the dead, settled an old score, and rode off into the sunset, always chasing the next game.